Hey everybody. So I'm doing another video today because a couple of things have happened since the last video, and um, I don't really even know where to start, to be honest. Let me say this. I've had people block me and had some things come out about all this discussion and everything else. And, I try to tell my husband, he gets into these heated conversations with people about racism and all that other stuff. Now, I'm not an expert, but I do read a lot, like I said before. And right now, I guess what I'm feeling is a lot of anxiety and hurt. Um, and not so much as anger anymore. The other day I was pissed off. Today I'm hurt and I'm sad. You know, I put something. A guy by the name of T.J. Wilkes, who's a friend of mine on Facebook, wrote something the other day, and it just happened to coincide with the person who blocked me. And I told him I needed to really hear those words that he had written, and sent him a private message and thanked him for that. And I think that's what's important. So today is like what I feel is this: is that I'm going to be saying friends a lot. I'm going to be talking about maybe like you or them or whatever. And just so you know, this is not to any one specific person. This is how I feel and what my feelings are. Um, you know, I'm not going to try to educate. I'm not going to try to convince anybody or anything else. But what I'm hurt from is from friends. And I listen to I watch what they're posting and what they're saying and how they're going about it. And a lot of it, there's a lot of arguing going on. And we don't need to be arguing. If anything, we need to be coming together. We need to be spreading a different message other than hate. Now, I got angry the other day. I got very angry because somebody posted a photograph of a military man dragging somebody, and the caption was, "We should do this to people who block the freeways or who are looting or whatever." And I was angry. I was angry because it was a picture. If you had taken those words out, basically what it showed was violence. And the thing that we're protesting, what we're all about, is police brutality. And I found it very offensive that picture was up, and I called that person on it, and it came in a heated conversation, and they blocked me. And my thing is that, again, we should not be promoting any of that kind of stuff. That fuels the fire. It makes it worse than what it needs to be. If anything, we should be showing support. I need friends who are my allies, not friends who are on a different track of mind, a thought process that doesn't coordinate with mine. Now, I get it. If you're a Republican, and that's what you are. But this is a moral stance that we need to talk about. It's something that we need to come together. I mean, if you don't believe in the rioting, if you don't believe in the violence, if you don't believe in police brutality, if you do not believe in racism, and the list goes on, then why are you not speaking up about it? One of the heated conversations that comes out is this: everybody's lives matter. Everybody's lives matter does matter. However, we live in the United States. And in the United States, our Constitution was written by white people. And when it was written back then, there was only three. Get that? Three. You hear me? Three type of people who were in America at the time. They were the niggers, slaves. Those are the people that they were not included in the Constitution. And then they were the Native Americans, those trash savages. They were not included in the Constitution. The Constitution was not written for anybody other than the white man. Hence the beginning of white privilege. For every person in this country who's of different ethnicity, Asians, blacks, Native Americans, the Latinx communities, the Constitution, we've had to fight to change the Constitution in order for us to have our equal rights. That's the beginning of white privilege, because you've never had to fight for your rights. We have to fight for our rights. What's going on right now? I've seen some crappy shit put out there about George Floyd, which is really just despicable. And again, you're not doing anything but creating more anger. You're creating more violence. You're creating more protests when you put something out there that's completely 100% totally unnecessary and uneducated and just ridiculous. Again, we don't need friends. We need allies. We need people who believe in us and trust in us and say, you know, I don't care it's the color of your skin. I want you to be as equal as I am. And I'm not going to try to teach my white racist friend anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and I'm going to protest with you. I'm going to send out a positive message. I'm going to stand with you face to face, arm to arm, hand to hand. We need allies. You don't need to be educating anybody on their racism. They already know what their racism is. They already know what their white privilege is. We don't need to be educating them on that. And it hurts me. It hurts me a great deal because I have friends who refuse to stand up and be my ally. It's painful to see. It's painful. And I'm not the only one that's going through this. It's happening all around the world right now. Again, it's not about educating people. It really isn't. It's about being our ally and standing up for Black Lives Matter, because they do matter. All our lives matter in one way or another, but you can't put something, if you're white, first of all, if you're white, you can't put all lives matters. Not until you understand and you become an ally and turn around and say, you know what, I'm a part of your fight, man. You are my brother. You are my brother of my country. You are my brother in my community. You are my brother at the grocery store, anywhere else we go. Then I think that you might have the ability to put up all lives matter. But right now the theme is all Black Matter because we're talking about brutality against the black man by police force that has been going on for a long, long time. And we're over it. We're done with it. We're fed up with that. And if you're not going to stand and be our ally, move aside. Let us move in our direction. Now, I'm not saying if you just totally disagree to sit back and not have your own point of view in any shape or form. Have your point of view. But just remember that your point of view is going to come off as racist. It's going to come off as white privileged. Because that's the signal that you're sending. Stop telling me you're not racist. Stop telling me that just stop. Stop telling me that you're not white privileged when you're a white person saying I'm not white privileged. It makes no sense to me. This is about us, the allies for George Floyd, the allies for the African American community, the allies for people who believe that we should have the same rights, that innocent people shouldn't be dead, that a black man and a brown man can walk up down the streets not being in fear of being arrested for the color of their skin. We need allies to turn around and say we are not going to be dealing with a racist president anymore. Now, if you support Trump just because you're Republican, my question to you is this: why are you just supporting him just because he's a Republican? Because if you're supporting him just because he's a Republican, I think you might have some issues. My thing is this: you have to think of yourself. You have to look into yourself. You have to look deep into who you are, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Who are you as a person? If you're my friend, I ask you to turn around and say that if you truly are my friend, then why aren't you on my side against police brutality? Why aren't you on my side against racism? Why aren't you against somebody who's trying to strafe every rights from the LGBT community? Why aren't you on my side, period? Just saying you're my friend is never going to be enough. Being a friend supports a friend through thick and thin. You become my ally. And if you're my ally, you're the rest of the country's allies too. So God bless to all of you. I hope I didn't go on too long, but just remember, Black Lives Matter.